Firstly, what he mentioned about the rules. If we take a look at the disallowed goal from Laporte, which could have just changed the landscape of the game, it could have made it 1-1 at the time heading into the break. Does he have a point? Do the players know the rules? Do they not? Are there too many changes?
I'm pretty sure some players don't know the rule. Other knows a little bit more. We put VAR into the equation to make it more real and to try and get real decision. From where I am, I can see the ball is going and is touching Jesus' arm. So if the rule is that the ball is touching somebody's arm, is handball, then it is. If the rule has changed and we're talking about upper arm or lower arm, I don't know. This is something different from my point of view. This is a handball, and obviously when you play and he goes against you, obviously you will be talking. When he goes for you, then you'll be relieved. So it's always one of the situations where, for me, you don't have to spend too much time on the question, because the rule is there to be taken. The decision is to be taken by the ref. He took the decision, and overall, I think it was a good decision. Would he have changed the game? Definitely. Coming back into the game like this would have changed. Tottenham would have had to score again and leave more space, perhaps. But again, once the decision is made, yeah, you can be a little bit upset with it when it's against you. But in the end, I think you have enough time to try and come back and to do things your way to make sure that you can win a game. And I think today, like he said, they missed that final gest, final pass, final kick to make something happen. That's how I feel, and I'm a City fan.
There's been a lot of talk about the substitutions, Gail, that the top 6 clubs want to have 5 substitutions. Some other managers who aren't part of that elite group are protesting it. Chris Wilder of Sheffield United came out today and he used some very interesting language to shoot it down. The idea that it's good for all teams. No, it isn't. It's only good for Liverpool and Manchester City. Those are his thoughts. What I find strange is, in the 7 games before the international break, Pep Guardiola, because they played a game less than a lot of other teams, had 21 substitutions available to him. He only made 13. Yet he and Mourinho and Solskjaer are talking about the players being tired, but he's not utilising the substitutions. Is it an excuse? Is it an issue?
I think, a game is going in the way it's going, and as a manager, you pick and you decide. It could be also that he's trying to put and to send a message saying that, it's not the 5 subs that's going to change anything. When Kevin is telling you that he's coming and then the next day is not allowed to go in the training ground to have his regeneration, for me, that's big. And this is a wrong decision, having 7 days off during the summer and coming back and going national team after 1 day of training. This is what we have to question. We don't have to question about the sub, because in the end, a manager makes his choice. But again, for me, it could be a message, from Guardiola saying, I don't want to make the sub because this is not the reason why the player are tired. It's not because the guy is going to play 20 minutes less that he's going to be ready for the next game. I'm thinking that he's thinking more about those national team games in middle of a really difficult season that come from a season finish where everybody is exhausted. I think overall the coaches and Guardiola aren't happy with the schedule. So the rule about the substitution, yes, you can talk, but in fairness, I don't think 20 minutes of the game for someone like Sterling, who played already so many games, are going to make him feel better, if I'm honest. And I think that's the point he's trying to prove.
Conversely, Jurgen Klopp has used all 3 subs in all but 2 of their games, Gary. So it's a bit hard to tell on this.
Well, personally, I believe that by introducing 5 subs, it does favour the bigger clubs because they have more strength in depth. Simple as that. I don't see how a club such as Manchester City can argue for 5 subs when they rarely use all 3 that they're allowed at the moment. They have nothing to back up their argument particularly, do they? I think the biggest problem is really the fact that the number of games which players have to play and have had to have played for the last 2 or 3 or 4 seasons is no different now, but the season has been scrunched down. It's closer, it's shorter, it's being put into a tighter space. And I think it was just about at its limit before. So now we have a season where it is past the limit of what these players can actually deal with and manage. You know, we saw it in the game today. Toby Alderweireld, towards the latter stages of the game, strikes a free kick. So he's not off balance, he's not under stress or duress, he strikes a long free kick. And as he does it, it would appear that he has torn or has a slight tear in a thigh muscle, your major kicking muscle. On that basis, I would suggest that would put him out for a number of weeks, almost certainly. So I think that is a sign of fatigue that has built up. And when your body's had enough, it just gives up on you. And it did on Toby Alderweireld. What is the solution? The number of games have to be reduced somehow. So more substitutions allows that to a certain extent. But, you know, the recent internationals we've just had, in amongst it, there was Nations League games and there were friendlies. You know, why did some nations play friendlies? Well, I guess because the international coach is trying to develop his national team. So the international coach doesn't want to surrender games. The Premier League isn't prepared to reduce it from 20 teams down to 18 teams, for example. You know, the cup competitions, sponsors don't want those to be reduced or restricted or to be done away with. But I think we are under exceptional circumstances at the moment that, you know, we maybe have to take some exceptional action.
Gary, one-word answer. When you first started football professionally, how many substitutions were you allowed?
1.
Just saying.